across the globe on citinewsroom.com. We start off with a very sad story that we are receiving. It's a story that was published by the Daily Graphic today, and it's titled No Bed Syndrome and How a Hit and Run Victim Was Refused Emergency Care by Ridge Police Hospital, Kolebu Hospital, for close to 3 hours before he died. Story by Enoch Dafa Frimpong. I'm going to read a few of the lines in there because I have the Minister for Health on the line for a conversation on this. The story reads, for close to 3 hours last Friday, February 6, 2026, a victim of a hit-and-run incident at Nkrumah Circle overpass in Accra was refused emergency care by 3 major hospitals in Accra with the explanation of no vacant bed available until he died. The emergency medical technicians from the National Ambulance Service had received a walk-in call around 10:32 p.m. on that day to attend to an emergency road traffic crash at Circle Overpass. They responded and mobilized to the scene within 3 minutes, arriving by 10:35 p.m. From that period till around 0:50 a.m., that's 12 midnight or 50 minutes past 12 midnight, the EMT from the ambulance service fruitlessly negotiated with 3 hospitals to either admit the victim or attend to him in the ambulance before he died. The victim was later identified as 29-year-old Charles Emisa, an engineer who was working at Promasidor Ghana Limited at North Industrial Area in Accra, producers of cowbell milk and other food products. Graphic Online understands that on that day, Charles had closed from work at the North Industrial Area and was on his way home to Adenta on a red motorcycle when he was involved in a hit-and-run incident at the Nkrumah Circle overpass in Accra. Information available to Graphic Online gleaned from a situational report indicates that the EMT from the ambulance service, after responding to the distress call, controlled the bleeding using a gauze bandage, applied a cervical collar, log-rolled the patient onto a spine board, and loaded him into the ambulance. Oxygen therapy was initiated via nasal prongs at 4 liters per minute. Vital signs were monitored every 5 minutes. The initial assessment by the ambulance EMT were BP 120. Okay, so these are all medical information. Let me just give you the other part of the story. They first took the victim, weighing 120 kg with a height of 1.75 meters, to the police hospital, then to the Greater Accra Regional Hospital Ridge before Kolebu Teaching Hospital. All 3 major hospitals did not admit the victim, nor did the staff offer emergency care. Even when the ambulance EMT offered to wait and use the ambulance trolley, staff at the hospital, that's at the police hospital, said there was no space within the facility. During the almost 3 hours, no hospital staff attended to the casualty, nor were vital signs taken in the 3 hospitals. At Kolebu, the EMT from the ambulance service used 30 minutes to negotiate that, due to the deterioration of the patient's condition, they were objecting to further transportation and explained that continued movement could place the patient in a dangerous situation. This was when Kolebu, which was the 3rd hospital they had been to that night, rejected the victim and advised the crew to continue transporting him to the University of Ghana Medical Center at Legon. However, despite several negotiations, more than 30 minutes at Kolebu in particular, the victim was still refused, and no hospital staff attended to the casualty, nor were vital signs taken. The victim went through the ordeal for close to 3 hours in the ambulance before going into cardiac arrest, and even though cardiopulmonary resuscitation, that CPR, was immediately initiated by the ambulance EMT, it yielded no positive outcome. The victim died, and it was only then that one Dr. Nkrumah, who was on duty at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, came out to certify the patient dead and instructed the crew to convey the body to the mortuary. All this time, the family of the victim was not aware of what had happened. When he did not return to the house in Adenta, they lodged a complaint at the Adenta police station, and he was declared missing. Information about him was shared on social media for public assistance to locate him. So the story continues. Very sad one indeed. Let's speak to Honorable Kwabena Minta Kando. He is Ghana's Minister for Health. Honorable, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Maro.
I'm sure you've read this disheartening story I just read to my audience.
Yeah, Maro, let me say good evening to your listeners and say as I speak to you now, I'm part of the president delegation to AU Summit, so I'm far away in Ethiopia. But my attention has been drawn to this unfortunate situation. And to start with, let me express my condolence to the bereaved family. And Omar, yes, my attention has been drawn to this incident, and already I have initiated a process of investigation, and any recommendations that comes out of it will be implemented to find lasting solution to this particular canker in our system.
On the face of it, and having heard these details, what's your reaction as, first of all, an ordinary Ghanaian and then later as Minister for Health?
Well, every life matters, and that is one of the reasons why I have quickly responded to your call, because I was actually devastated when I heard that somebody had to lose his life through this ordeal. But now, because we are going to investigate the matter, I do not want to prejudice, the processes. So, allow me, and I can assure you the investigation will start earliest, latest by Monday. We will start the investigation, and whatever comes out of it, we will let the good people of this country know. But let me also tell you that during our retreat to review 2025 and to project into 2026, this matter came up. And so I instructed one of our directors to start the processes of establishing what we call a call center, where we have visibility on all hospital beds, and the call center will be directing patients as and where there is a vacancy. And so it's one of the things we are looking at, among other things. So it's something that I am more particular about, and I believe that we must find a solution to it as early as possible. That notwithstanding, I am not saying that that is the cause of what happened, but I'm only telling you what came up during our review or during our retreat.
This is not the first time this issue of no bed syndrome has come up. A few years ago, it was a topical issue. We spoke about it. There were talks about fixing it. And so when you say that an investigation will be conducted, a lot of the time people take comments like that with a lot of dismiss, or people dismiss it because they're wondering what exactly is going to come out of it. Specifically speaking on the issue of beds, and I'm not disputing you. I'm just saying that when you say you're going to set up a committee to investigate, people will be like, yeah, the same old story. What assurance can you give us that this is going to be different? Because we've seen this in the past.
Tomorrow, I should think that my actions since I became the minister responsible for health should speak for itself. I'm not a type who will say I'm going to set up an investigation into a matter and I'll go to sleep. No. At every point in time when I announce, especially when I'm having to speak to the media myself, at every point in time, I do so. And I can tell you that I will do so, and whatever comes out of it, the public will get to know it. But now, and it is because this matter has come up before, is the reason why I told you that during our retreat, it came up strongly, and we've been stormed on it, and we think that measures must be taken to stop. We cannot, as a country, and I'm being very realistic, we cannot, provide all our needs as a goal. But you see, we should be able to manage the limited resources we have at our disposal. So I believe that one of the reasons, not all, one, and I'm choosing my words carefully, one of the reasons is the prudent management of the limited resources we have now. And I'm telling you, one of the measures we have, been stormed on is to create this center. And, in as much as I know that this is a canker in the system, you cannot go punishing anybody, or you cannot conclude on the matter. I cannot take what you are reading to me at face value and go take a decision based on what you have read to me. And so there is a need for me to ascertain whatever happened before we can take any action. And Mario, take it from me. We are going to do that, and whatever comes out of it, everybody will get to know.
How soon before your committee finishes its work and the recommendation and reports published to the public?
Well, I can tell you, as I indicated earlier, I am not in Ghana at the moment. I am in Ethiopia, and latest by Monday, this committee should be in action, And I'm telling you that I'm going to chair this committee myself. I'm going to be part of this committee, and we will invite all the parties to the matter, all interested parties to the matter, and get to the bottom of the matter. So allow me to start the investigations, and you see, I wish to expedite action on it, but not until you start. You may not know how long it will take. But maybe I'll have to tell you this, that in less than 24 hours after the incident happened, I have a first report on the incident already. Less than 24 hours when it got to my attention, I have a first report on it. But we have to give, everybody fair hearing. And so there's a need for us to engage more on that. And then whatever happens, I believe that action shall be taken.
Okay, finally, and maybe not necessarily relating to this specific issue, but do we not have enough beds in our hospitals?
Tomorrow and your ambush, you never stop this.
I'll repent by 2029.
This particular
I'll repent 2029, I promise.
Issue. If you say enough, as I have already indicated, we'll never have enough of what we want. And tomorrow, there is nothing like enough. If we have an emergency, to put it bluntly, no, absolutely no health worker has the right to turn any patient away.
Even if they don't have beds?
The fact that yes, you don't have, even if you have to treat the person on the floor, especially when it's an emergency. That is what it is. So I do not want us to go into the nitty-gritties of the matter. So there should not be any excuse whatsoever that phrase, no bed, especially under emergency conditions. Please. And I've had the opportunity to speak to some of these CEOs of these teaching hospitals. I've had the opportunity to speak to the medical superintendents. I've had the opportunity to speak to my directors in the sector. And I have repeated this over and over and over again. Over and over again. If there is a need, I need to save lives even on the floor. I'm not saying that everything is available and we have all that it takes to save lives. That is not what I'm saying. But tomorrow, to the extent that you, especially with respect to what you have read to me, without prejudicing whatever is going to be done, I think that let's end here.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, and we look forward to positive news from your committee. Thank you. That's Honorable Member of Parliament and Minister for Health, Kwabena Minta Kando, speaking to us from Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, where he's actually with the President and his spouse attending that continental conference. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Very sad story there that we're just discussing. The death of a 29-year-old man as a result of rejection by 3 hospitals: the police hospital, the Ridge Hospital, that's the Accra Regional Hospital, and the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. Eventually, the man died after the ambulance officers tried to resuscitate him without success. And after 3 hours of roaming through Accra, he died only for a Kolebu doctor, or a doctor from Kolebu, by name Dr. Nkrumah, according to what the Graphic Online is reporting, to come out to confirm that he has passed on and that he should be taken to the morgue. Very, very sad. And you've heard the Minister for Health there say to us that he has given an instruction that nobody should be rejected, especially if it is an emergency case at any hospital. Even if it means treating them on the floor, they should go ahead and do so. We are told that the ambulance officers who took this particular gentleman to the hospital even prayed the officers of the hospital to treat the victim in their bus or in their van. They would not listen to that. Eventually, he had to pass away. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Let me know what you make of this story. Send us your messages 0549 986 996 0549 986 996. This message says so it's from Nkrumah Isaac in Tamale. It says the negligence of health workers in this country is disheartening. This government should sit up. Well, you have the Minister for Health saying that he has set up a committee, or he will, and he's going to chair the committee himself. They'll start work from Monday. Anapena Neku says, good evening, Umaru. Why are cocoa farmers continually exploited while highly paid cocoa board officials without practical cocoa farming experience prosper? I strongly support a downward review of their conditions of service. So that's an issue we'll be talking about in a bit. Akapo Jr. in Afomim says, the government must divert monies meant for the Mahama Care policy to providing beds for hospitals since they serve similar purposes. Lives cannot be lost in the name of no bed syndrome. Abi National in Wa says, I agree with the majority on the cocoa issues because it was NPP that created all the problems. Wills Yoga from Who West constituency says, no bed syndrome must end. It's unacceptable that a patient died after being hit by a car due to hospital overcrowding. Everyone deserves timely medical care. Action is needed to ensure hospitals have resources to treat all patients. We cannot tolerate negligence in healthcare any longer. You can you can also send your message 0539 986 996 0539 986 996. Send your message and the world will get to hear what you say. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM, broadcasting from our studios in Accra. I am Umaru Sandamadu here with Fafa Melody Potufem. We are also live around the country on a number of affiliate stations, including
in the Western region, it's Premier FM 100.5, Beach 105.5 FM, and Sky 93.5 FM, all intercredit. In the Bono region, we are Green FM 95.9 and in the Hafu region, it's Hamas Radio 106.5 FM in Goso. Now, in the Ashanti region, you can listen to us on Orange FM 107.9 in Kumasi, and in the Volta region, at Pini Radio 96.7 MHz in Kwando, and Heritage FM 107.3 in Hotway. In the northern region, we are Dasuma 99.1 in Yendi. In the upper east region, Word FM 88.3 in Zwarungu, Gunzang 90.1 FM in Tongo, and Bolga 102.7 FM in Bolgatanga. Now in the upper west region, you can tune in to Westlink 88.1 FM in Laura, and in the northeast region, we are Eagle FM 94.1 in Waliwali.
And around the globe, we are on citinewsroom.com. We are also on YouTube. We are on Facebook. Just look for Citi FM. Follow the discussion and let us know what you think by mentioning my handle at Umaru Sanda or at Citi973.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens. Imagine making or collecting all payments without leaving your chair. Sounds like magic, right? Nah, it's Stanbic Pay.
As the Chief Financial Director of SBA Holdings Limited, payments from clients flow like magic through Stanbic Pay.
From school fees to utilities, government and statutory payments to investment, insurance payment, Hajj payments, and more. Just log on to Stanbic Pay and you're set for life. No Stanbic account, no queues, no stress, no last-minute panic.
Cherish your time and live happier in safety and convenience.
Just visit stanbicbank.com.gh or call 030-340-9212 or 055-676-0683 to get started.
The other day, I visited Kweku at his spunky new office to congratulate him on opening his business. And man, was I impressed. The business is just moving quick. The sales, customers, everything is just working seamlessly. The secret? He said,
it's MTN Business Broadband. In this fast-paced environment, we need fast and reliable internet to support all business types. No laggy online meetings, great download and upload speeds, impeccable business management systems, all inclusive. I mean, you can have it all.
Sharp! I signed on immediately.
To enable your business stay ahead and stay connected, make sure you're signed on to the best internet made just for businesses. MTN Business Broadband. Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh and manage your account on my MTN app. Call 0244 308 111 for more information.
MTN.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Yeah, welcome back. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. The Advertising Association of Ghana, AAG, has expressed concern over the ongoing billboards demolition exercise in the Greater Accra region. Andrew Aka is the president of the Advertising Association of Ghana. Andrew, welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Mauro.
The city is choked. There are lots of nuisance billboards and signposts around. The minister for the Greater Accra region says, let's decongest the city. Why are you complaining?
So, Mauro, we are not complaining. I think as the mouthpiece for the standard of advertising practice, the AAG has been at the forefront for the fight against illegal and indiscriminate mounting of billboards. We've been doing this for the past 2 decades. We've covered a lot of routes in Accra, in Kumasi. We have dozens of reports which depicts the sorry state of our city's, skyline. Billboards are supposed to not just for aesthetics, but also to help brands to sell. But if you look at what is happening in our city, it's quite sorry. We've been on several, the sorry state is that we've been in several committees in association with all these institutions involved. But yet we don't get any will from the authorities to help to curb this menace of indiscriminate billboard mounting, which we believe has been taken over by charlatans and faceless people. Wherever they are coming from, we don't know. We have information of where some of them could come from. But we've been fighting this. I've made several statements appealing to various governments, the past government, this current government, that we need to halt this so that we can clean the city and rid it of the filth of metals, sticking everywhere in Accra. In October last year, based on one of these calls, a committee was set up duly by the local government, which we embraced. And it's made up of road safety, urban roads. All these persons were part of the group that actually wrote the guidelines for advertising billboard specifications for outdoor signs. This included Ghana Institute of Surveyors, Ministry of Roads and Highways, of KNUST, Institute of Engineers, Ghana Institute of Surveyors. All these persons came out with a guideline, about 80 pages, called the GS 847-2019, on how to regulate the outdoor industry. Omar, I can tell you that most of the MCs do not apply these guidelines. So everyone anywhere just wakes up and then mounts billboard anywhere. And what it is doing is that it is killing those of us who are in the association who we are, we've nurtured to be able to go by the guidelines of advertising practice and mounting billboard the right way. And it's almost like the new galaxy in Ghana now. Everyone wakes up anywhere, mounts billboard. They get the authority from the MCs. So the MCs should actually come out and explain to Ghanaians how they go about giving all these permits to these people to mount billboards. And this 80-page document that I'm talking about, no one follows them. By our count, about 70% of the billboards in Accra is illegal because they do not go by the guidelines which is laid down by the Ghana Standard Authority. So it's a big concern, it's a huge concern. When the committee was set up, we had a representative on it. We forced that just having one representative is not good enough because all the outdoor suppliers, all of them as a body, do not have a single person of an outdoor vendor on that committee. So we wrote to the committee, put an outdoor vendor on there to share their part, because they are the core of this situation. So they can also put their voice on there and follow the plan that we have provided, so that we can follow through and rid our city of all of this. All of a sudden, we hear from some quarters that billboards are being marked, and it feels like they're targeting our members. And they started demolishing billboards. Of course, we want the billboards to be kept down. If you look at Spintex, let me give you some statistics. Spintex, for a 12-kilometer road, has 315 billboards as of last year. By the election, by now, I'm sure we can count about 250. By the guidelines, you should have only 105 billboards on SpaceX. So where is the 200 billboards coming from? So it's a great situation. And what we thought the committee would do is that they would sit down with the core persons involved in it, which is the outdoor suppliers, go through the plan that we have provided because they do not have any plan, so that we can step by step go through, agree on a plan, let everyone sign to it, then we can start removing those billboards. We'll have a clear plan, and on Tuesday, we're going to lay the plan for everyone to understand why this is important and why we need to get our stakeholders on board.
Okay, when we hear ads or see ads on TV, they are often marked with the words approved by the FDA. That's for ads relating to food and all of that. How do we determine that a billboard in the median of a road is approved or not? How do we determine that? Is there a sign that shows?
Omar, we start off by the guideline. We should not have any median sign anywhere in any road in Accra.
So just to be sure, when median here means a dual carriage lane on one road of two cars going one way, another coming the other way. In the middle, they usually put pavements or trees. You are saying that no billboard should stand there.
There should be no billboard on by the guidelines. I can read all the guidelines to you. And by the guidelines, there should be no billboard within 100 meters on secondary and third roads where you're driving about 60 kilometers. The science behind that, and for me, this is where the painful bit is. The science behind that is that the human mind can only process anything in 100 meters within 5 seconds. So if you're driving 50 kilometers per hour, it will take you 7 seconds to reach another board of 100 meters. So the guidelines where all these scientists and experts came together said that do not put any billboard less than 100 meters apart on the road, which is a third tier road, where you're driving 50 kilometers per hour. But Omar, when you go to SpaceX within 100 meters, you have 4 billboards. Now tell me, what are you going to read on the billboard? What information are you going to gather, and how are you going to make your decisions of the message or the advert that you're watching? So there's a lot of noise out there. Those who are advertising are not getting their money's worth. And these billboards do not go through the structural integrity test, the seismic test, the weight speed test. They do not go through that. They do what we call bury a bit. So they just dig the hole, put the metal in, and pour some concrete on it. It's quite disheartening. Somebody has lost his life because of this. And we've all watched. I'm sure people on Twitter will know that you will count 315 billboards when you start from Sakumono to when you get to Accra Mall. What do you want to sell to me? How can 315 people be selling to me on a 12-kilometer road? So it's chaotic. It's terrible. If you look at 37 now, it's madness. Our city is filthy with billboards.
Okay.
And we don't recognize it because it has become part of our wallpaper. When those who were instituted initially started with huge pylons and all of that, they knew what they were doing. But we don't know where the ball fell. Now, anyone and we do not know them. Let me give you another statistic. On the status road that I'm talking about, every billboard owner is supposed to mark their billboard. So we know that this is the company that owns the billboard. You'll be surprised to know that on the status road, 75% of the billboards are not marked. So who owns them? And how did the assembly give those permits to them? And do they follow through the guidelines? So these are some of the pertinent issues that are around, and we want to help to solve the situation.
Okay.
But you cannot randomly. We are hearing stories that certain persons are involved. It's happening that we go round and round and round and round, and we are unable to solve this problem.
So if this chaos is even unjustified and unlawful, perhaps pull everything down, then we can start afresh. Is that not the approach of the minister? Because I see your concerns in your statement. You talk about perceived irregularities and selective enforcement. You talk about threat to industry stability and investor confidence, and you say there's a need for institutional reset and proper governance. If the erection of these billboards is an unlawful act, then removing them cannot be deemed unlawful.
So, Umar, I do agree to some extent, and that is why we say that you need to have a plan. In Lagos, what happened is what you're talking about, the draconian tactics of saying that all billboards are illegal, let's start afresh. But even that, they did not pull all the billboards out. What we are saying, the plan we have, which we're going to show on Tuesday, is that there were boards that were conforming to the guidelines before all the other, little boards and all of that came into being. And we have records of that. So our plan is that let's go back to the board, let's determine where billboards should be, and then let's go by the record who was there first before all these new ones coming in, so that we can sit and plan with you. We all can sign tomorrow. Our members are saying that even if we are raiding the city of these billboards and they affect some of their billboards, we are willing to take it on the chin so that they can look for other options. So we are willing to sit on the table and talk, but we cannot be in conversation. We haven't been sat down to discuss, and yet some entities go around cutting billboards that people have invested, millions of cities over the years to build. I mean, some of the billboards they are pulling, yes, I do agree some of them were illegal, but some of them too are legal billboards that have the right permits. So what we are calling is that sit down with us, let us go to, we have a plan. I'll share a lot of these plans on Tuesday. I've several reports. I'll give you a funny story. National Road Authority, together with Urban Roads, together with the FCEs and the Dean of the FCE then, 2 years ago, called us into a similar meeting. We chose Adenta as a case study. We have done a lot of case studies around the country. At the end of the study, we realized that Adenta municipality has 1,500 billboards for a road of 55 kilometers. It should not be so. The obvious question, once we showed the data, the obvious question was, almost like we didn't even know that we had 1,500 billboards. So the deeper conversation that we need to have is that if the government having its fair share of the rent that these billboards are supposed to contribute to the nation, I can tell you that that's not the situation in most of the municipal assemblies. For those who are strong and able to control those like the LATNAs and the LETNAs and all of that, they can provide this information. But the other NCEs do not have, if you count the number of boards and you look at how much they're raising, you have to ask the question, are these raising the right revenue? If they're not raising the revenue, then why are we allowing all these billboards to be all over the place, causing harm and injury to motorists and pedestrians?
Thank you so much for speaking to us, and we pray that your engagements will be fruitful.
Thank you very much, Umar.
That's Andrew Aka. He's president of the Advertising Association of Ghana. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi. And when we return, we'll talk about cocoa.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Ugomi, and what time when you come back, we are not hear the sound of your car. Why you buy new car?
No, I don't change my car. It be the same, right? It be the fuel way I change. Way one shout it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, so
this is the type of fuel where they want to. Cause now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it will protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind self be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion.
So where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside?
I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small.
Go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Hey, Auntie Akos. My momo is finished, but I still want to buy some pepper.
Hey, you are still stressing. You haven't heard about Extra Balance from Forms Capital?
Extra Balance? Which one is that?
It's a good way to get a small boost for your momo wallet when the pockets are dry. Extra Balance will give you a little extra money to sort yourself out till your next top up.
So, even me, I can use it?
Of course! Extra Balance helps everybody. Market women, students, small traders. No wallet left behind. With Extra Balance from Forms Capital, you get a little extra when your wallet runs low. Also, the interest is only charged for the days you actually use the money. It's part of our mission to drive community growth growth, and financial inclusion. Because when everybody can move forward, we all win. Sign up for free on the Momo app, navigate to Financial Services, Advances, and select Extra Balance to register. Or dial *170#, select 5, select 3, then select 4 to activate Extra Balance. Live extra with Extra Balance.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Yesterday, the government made an announcement in the cocoa sector. But the biggest headline coming from there is that the Ministry of Finance, and for that matter, government generally, has given a haircut to cocoa farmers. The minority was livid. Yesterday, they spoke to my colleague Sami Wiafi on Eyewitness News. Tonight, we are learning that the majority side in Parliament called a press conference. And at that press conference, they said that the adjustment by the government was influenced by prevailing prices in neighboring countries. And generally, they said that what has happened is the best thing that should be happening. Dr. Godfred Seidu Jeso is a member of Parliament and chairman of the Food, Agriculture and Cocoa Affairs Committee of Parliament. He led his colleagues to address the media. You're welcome to Eyewitness News, Doc.
Good evening, Omaru, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too. You should have brought a cocoa pod to come and say Happy New Year. But then again,
we want to make sure we sell that the beans in that pot. So,
okay.
I'll get chocolate rather for you because there's a tilt towards value addition
ahead of Valentine's Day.
At least from yesterday's reform announcement.
Chocolate for Valentine's Day tomorrow. Your constituency is not a cocoa growing area, is it?
It's share rather. I have a lot of share trees.
Okay.
You will see usually a homogeneous landscape of share in my constituency. So you're welcome.
Thank you. I would come and get some share nuts and then share butter. But you are saying that the haircut that has been given to cocoa farmers is justified.
Sorry, Omar, the haircut, I missed the last word.
The haircut to cocoa farmers you are saying is justified?
That's not a very nice way to put it. But what I intend communicating is that there's a context. And the context is that Ghana Cocoa Board has been doing under recoveries for some time now. At least the price of cocoa which was used, the projection that was used to set up the was the World Bank price. I mean the world market price, which was $7,800 a ton. Now since then there has been a downward slide of the international cocoa price. Now this went down below $6,400 a ton. Now $6,400 a ton is usually the cost price that cocoa boards tax the cocoa beans to Harbour. And so now, because prices have been coming down, we have prices currently as low as $3,800, $3,900 per ton. Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire are lucky that we have the LID, the living income differential of $400. That adds to it. So you get the price around $4,200 per ton. Now, it means that from that price set, and what is currently happening, there has been an under recovery of almost $2,000 per every ton bought or sold from Ghana. And you know, that's a failure of the economy. You cannot continue to do that level of under recovery and not collapse your own economy. And so there has to be a rational decision. The rational decision is also based on data. The projection this year really is that we are projected to buy about 600,000 metric tons of cocoa beans. So far, as of yesterday, about 530,000 tons of the cocoa beans have already been bought. So technically, the quantum of cocoa beans left on the ground it's not actually that much. We just have about 70,000 metric tons. And Umaru, you have to remember that this 70,000 metric tons left is not from different or new farmers. It's from the same farmer, usually. Because it's you know how these fields work. The cocoa pod gets ripe, you harvest it, and then you dry, bag and sell. By next week or so, new pods ripe, and then you go and sell. So this is what has been happening. And so it's not as if it's new farmers. So what is happening here is that all the farmers have got some being sold at the recent high price, and now the rest that is left with them is being told to be sold at the new price announced yesterday. And so we all need to make these sacrifices to be able to sustain the industry, because government and cocoa board, for that matter, with the kind of state it is, you cannot continue to sustain the under recoveries. Besides, we have surrounding countries that have conditions happening there. One of the conditions there is that there is actually low prices, and that's one of the reasons in the first place we've had a challenge of getting buyers. The off-takers find the surrounding countries cheaper to buy cocoa from, and so most of them went back to those areas to be buying their cocoa beans. Now, there's a fear of reverse smuggling, and so if you actually increase the price or maintain it where it is, there's a possibility that there will be a scheme to be able to do reverse smuggling of this cocoa back into Ghana for you and I as taxpayers to have to sacrifice our money in the under recoveries that is occurring. And so it's not a plausible pathway. And so I think that with the small quantum of cocoa beans left, what has been announced is the best decision in the circumstance. And I believe that we have to educate our listeners to understand that it is just for the rest of this season. 2026-2027 cocoa season, there will be a new price that will be announced. Okay. And at that time, government will have implemented the new reform program of automatic adjustment. It means that there will be an automatic response to world market prices. If it goes higher, the farmer benefits. And the financing model is also proposed to change, which is that we then raise domestic bonds to be able to finance the process. It means that the cocoa beans that we buy, the country will have the luxury of determining what trading decisions to take. That way, we stand to benefit more, especially that 50% of that will be committed to local processing. That means value addition, that means additional job creation for our citizenry. So you and I will have to appreciate it and then pray that nothing goes wrong. If nothing goes wrong, Omaru, I'm confident that the cocoa sector will bounce back and we should be able to have more sustainable economic sector in cocoa to benefit from for everybody.
So it's good that we are trying to fix the sector, but why should the cocoa farmer be the one to suffer? Why should the cocoa farmer be the one to make sacrifices of 1,000 plus? That's a lot.
So, Obayo, you got me on this one. I'm a representative of the people, and I wish that government had another way and capacity to be able to fill that difference. The fear, however, is that because of the nature of our trading, the country borders, and so on, if government is not careful, you commit a certain budget to say the 70,000 tons of cocoa beans that you are expected to mop up. And then you may end up, because that price is still good comparatively to our neighboring countries, you may have huge countries flooding in. And you know how our informal schemes operate. If you allow it like that to flood in, then you'll be sacrificing more of the taxpayers' money. And so in the circumstance, I think this is a plausible decision, and it's the little sacrifices we all have to make, including our cocoa farmers.
A message has come through from Gabi that I want to read for you. Gabi says, I should ask you why cocoa board employees are not getting salary cuts. Why is it that it's the farmer who is getting the haircut?
So again, it's technically not a haircut. I think it is in Christians a haircut to achieve some other ends. But I think the issue is larger than that. And Gabi knows this. We need cocoa sector to survive for sustainability of this country. You know that Gabi is aware that in the last, Omaro, just take a casual look at the Auditor General's report from 2017 up to date. Each year, the Auditor General has recorded a huge loss. 2017, it was about 160 million Ghana cedis. 2018, it was 78 million Ghana cedis. 2019, about 320. It's been like that going on. So this is a very mismanaged sector to the extent that by 2024, we could not raise a syndicated loan. And so, which otherwise have been practiced for the last 32 years. And so, please, it's no joke. And we have to accept that we need to take some drastic measures to be able to get the industry to survive.
Okay.
And so, it's not about the farmer getting haircut. It's about the little sacrifices in the circumstances to make sure that that industry survives.
Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thank you, Umaru.
That's Dr. Godfred Seidu-Jeso. He's chairman of the Food and Agriculture and as well as Cocoa Affairs Committee of Parliament. Fafa, what else do you have for us?
Well, the Federation of Staff Unions at the Ghana Communication Technology University, GCTU, has given the Ministry of Education a one-week ultimatum to reconstitute the university's council or face industrial action. The unions oppose what they describe as the unilateral decision by the council chairman, Engineer Divine Petigo, to terminate the vice-chancellor's appointment. Speaking to Citi News, President of UTAG GCTU, Dr. Patrick Echampon, said the council chairman continues to make decisions without the input of members.
The reason why we came out with this statement with all the unions on campus is a result of the letter that he unilaterally wrote to the VC for him to vacate his position. This letter should have come to the university council for all of us to discuss and take a decision on. As it stands, we have not had any decision or any response from the council chair. So there are a lot of things that has gone on that we have not taken action. But in fact, this one is what broke the camel's back. So we, the unions on campus, have come together and we have all our members supporting us. So we are demanding that the government should dissolve this council. The actions of this council chairman is rendering this council not fit for purpose. It's not efficient. We have given 7 days ultimatum to, all the stakeholders, especially the minister in charge of education, to act on this letter. Well, if nothing happens, then I think that all that we have to do is to go on strike. And members are ready.
You are the president for the UTAG chapter at the Ghana Communication Technology University, Dr. Patrick Echampon. Away from that, Beacon Services and Source says its partnership with Bostex Trading GmbH is strengthening Ghana's food supply chain and industrial capacity. CEO for Beacon Source and Services, Fidelis Kwegla, said what began as a trading relationship has evolved into a long-term partnership built on transparency and professionalism. He made the remarks at the commissioning and groundbreaking ceremony for the company's cold storage expansion and poultry value addition project.
This initiative represents a deliberate and strategic focus towards value addition, enhance industrial capacity, and skills development within Ghana's food supply chain. This program has been made possible through the strong, enduring partnership between Beacon Source and Services and Bostex GmbH. What began so many years as trading relationship has evolved into strategic collaboration built on trust, transparency, professionalism, and shared long-term vision.
You had Fidelis Kweglas, CEO of Beacon Source and Services.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Mr. Kojo, 1 minute before you go to work. The AC you said you want to fix, it won't work.
Why?
Because the electrician will come and chisel my wall. It will make my building weak. Wait, is that a puppy? No animals in my house, oh.
Kojo knows all the challenges about renting. That was his reality until he discovered Republic Bank. With Republic Bank's flexible mortgage solutions, you can move from tenant to homeowner quickly. Imagine stepping into your own home, a place for your family to grow and create memories. Big up! Join the Republic Verse. Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
The details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. Citi Business News. Be informed.
Time now for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News, brought to you by Republic Bank. We are the one for you. Join the Republic Verse. Do more, shine more, big up. I am Melody Fafa, but let's settle for the details of our stories now. Government statistician Dr. Al-Hassan Idrisu says accelerated investment in Ghana's upstream petroleum sector could significantly boost economic growth, particularly within the struggling industrial sector. His comments follow the latest provisional data showing that industry expanded by just 0.4% in November 2025, reflecting a sharp slowdown largely linked to weaker crude oil production. In a media interaction, Dr. Idrisu explained that despite strong gold output, petroleum contraction heavily weighed on industrial performance.
In fact, gold has a higher weight compared to oil and gas. And in fact, that's the reason why we saw industry growth actually end 2025 November at 0.4. This is because the contraction in crude oil was so prominent that in spite of the bigger weight we had in gold and also the positive performance we saw in gold, it still dragged industrial performance to 0.4. And also if you saw the mining and quarrying, it actually was dragged down significantly because of the significant reduction in petroleum production. So that's the main reason. If you're able to attract the investment as a country that we are looking for in the sector, it depends on how fast those investments translate into crude oil production. Once they translate immediately into crude oil production, we capture it in the statistics, because then GMPC would have reported that to us as increase in production, and that would reflect in the numbers.
You are the government statistician Dr. Al-Hassan Idrisu. Away from that, the Ghana Association of Banks is urging customers to pay closer attention to the financial health and governance standards of their banks as new transparency requirements take effect. Speaking on the sidelines of the corporate governance series, CEO of the association John Ewa said the Bank of Ghana's disclosure and transparency directives now require commercial banks to publish key financial and governance data to strengthen accountability and improve risk assessment.
The number one stakeholder of a bank is the depositor. So if you are a depositor, take keen interest in what goes on in your bank. And how you take that keen interest is the annual reports are public documents. Just go through, if not anywhere at all, the corporate governance disclosure area. Understand how decisions in the bank where you keep your money, how decisions are being taken, how the boards are becoming accountable to the various stakeholders within the organization, and how you also function within the scheme of things. And you find that a whole lot of the financial strength or viability that you are looking for, you find in the annual report. So you equip yourself. And when next time you are going to put your money somewhere, not just in the bank, any kind of investment vehicle, you know that you have the wherewithal to understand exactly where you are putting your money for its safety, security, and long-term survival.
John Ewa is the CEO of the Ghana Association of Banks. Meanwhile, Executive Head of Retail Banking at GCB Bank, C. Nakamagati, noted that the rapid shift to digital banking requires boards to reflect changing customer behavior, calling for younger representation to drive innovation and competitiveness.
Banks are going into digital transformation. Banks are automating every system to the extent that the investment banks are making on IT transformation are huge. Now the question is, do we have those who have the expertise around this sitting on our boards? Looking at conversations around virtual assets, stable coins, mobile banking, USSD and the rest, we need to take a second look at how we give the youth the opportunity to sit on the board so that they can break down some of the complexities around the IT environment and how the experienced bankers who are sitting on the board can adopt some of those and make sure they refine the very decisions that they make.
You are the Executive Head of Retail Banking at GCB Bank, Sina Kamagati. Well, that's all for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News, brought to you by Republic Bank. We are the one for you. Join the Republic verse, do more, shine more, big up. I am Melody Fafa. But if up next is Point Blank.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
And you are telling these days new level crowd. Where did you pass?
Me, pass somewhere. I just switched for a better life. I switched for comfort. Look, your salary deserves better.
Switch?
Yeah.
How do you mean?
I switched my salary account to Fidelity Bank. And that's my jackpot. I get higher loan amounts with lower interest rates, as well as personalized financial support. They gave me a loan to expand my side hustle. And the terms are just flexible.
Wow.
Your salary deserves better.
Oh, my salary deserves better. You see the way you are smiling wide? Yes, I will switch and smile wider.
Your salary deserves better. Switch to Fidelity Bank today and enjoy lower interest rate, car and home loan, personalized financial support, and a smile that lasts. Switch and smile wider. Fidelity Bank. Believe with us.
If I believe with us, Fidelity. If I know I need your side, Fidelity.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Google me. I want time where you can't park where I don't hear the sound of your car. Why you buy new car?
No, I don't change my car. It be the same ride. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Cause now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind self be the 3-in-1 action. No, Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. One pair way now open there.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish Magobe fast then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand Magobe inside?
I give you info. Make a feel the gobe too small.
Go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
This is Point Blank on Eyewitness News. I am Umaru Sanda Amado. Tonight on Point Blank, my guest. You know, every names are unisex, right? The first Jifa I knew was a woman. The second one was a woman. Then I met a third Jifa, and he's a man. I said, "Cho, Fonya and Leki Jo." So my guest tonight is called Jifa. And then there's Gunu, so Jifa Gunu. He's the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Digital Centers Limited. He's been in office for 1 year. Tonight we brought him in studio to take stock of what he has done so far for that government institution as the president's representative there. So ladies and gentlemen, my guest tonight, Jifa Gunu. Awezo.
Yo.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Have you had problems where people think that your name, you are a woman? So when they
Oh,
talk
yes.
to you, they think you're a woman.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And it still happens every day.
Yeah, people will suspect you. Imagine if you introduce yourself on a WhatsApp chat. Hello, my name is Jifa Gunu. I will say,
Well, I still receive calls. Hello, mom.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing with unisex names. But anyway, how are you doing, bro?
I'm well.
1 year.
Yes.
You were appointed when?
13th December. February 2025.
So today is exactly 1 year.
Yes.
It's come so fast, eh?
Yes.
Child, time is running, oh. Before you realize 2028 election is here.
We've seen it already.
You've seen it already?
Yes.
And how is it looking?
Well, it's looking good.
You sure?
Yes, it's looking good.
Things are not that easy.
We
Dr.
never expected things to be easy.
Dr. Bamia said he's not going to sleep. He's working tirelessly to make sure his party wins.
You should have been awake, working tirelessly to ensure that pensioners' bonds and stuff were safe. He slept.
Oh, but you two have brought haircut. You just gave cocoa farmers haircut. You know that.
I'm not an expert in that industry, but you would agree with me that comparatively, the cocoa farmers, though we should have done better in the current circumstances, government hasn't quite well in what, and the cocoa farmers appreciate the challenge, and I'm sure when the times are good, government will reciprocate.
Because you say you're not an expert, I'm not going to push you on that.
Thank you very much.
I would have just rather said that, but you are talking about Dr. Baumia and the other one. That one, you are not an expert.
Certain things are obvious.
Hey, Fonye, you're picking and choosing, cherry picking now. Okay, what is the Accra Digital Center, by the way? Is it center or centers? I see that centers. So what's it?
This is it. November 16th, 2016. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama commissioned the Accra Digital Center, and to fulfill a vision he had, we're supposed to have other centers across the regions. Then we had 10 regions, so there were supposed to be centers in the other 9 regions. So he commissioned the Accra Digital Center alongside some that were at various stages of completion. Subsequent to, they were fully awarded and work done, completed, but he never lived to see it full operationalization. Ghanaians wanted a change, and so in 2017, the MPP took over, and they formally set up the Ghana Digital Centers. So Ghana Digital Centers was incorporated in 2017 to, as it were, run digital centers, mini tech parks like you have in the Silicon Valley, where you do digital acceleration, tech incubation, startup incubation. You create an environment for BPO services. You house innovative minds and ideas and nurture them to become giant tech startups, what have you. So that was the whole idea. And unfortunately, as we speak today, we only have Accra Digital Center under the Ghana Digital Centers.
So it's one center out of many which are yet to be born.
Yes. So after operationalizing the Accra Digital Centers, I don't know what happened. My predecessors were comfortable in Accra.
Okay. So are you saying that before you left office in 2017, aside the one in Accra, President Mahama's government had started others in other parts of...
Sure.
Which
so
parts?
When I was appointed, myself and my deputy, in fact, we got our appointment same day.
Okay.
And then we engaged our Honorable Minister, the Honorable Sam George. And we indicated to him that as part of our research at the Ghana Digital Centers, we want to go have a look at the other centers in the region. And he gave us his blessings. So we started from Koforidua, went to Ho, and then came back to Cape Coast, and then went to Takoradi, went to Kumasi, then ended up at Sunyani. There are centers in Wa, Bolga as well.
Started, you mean, or they are?
In fact, they were completed in 2017. They were all completed in 2017, but they were never operationalized for whatever reasons, I don't know. So when we went to
completion would mean a number of things. The building has gotten to the roof complete, or the building they've done the roofing
completed, finishing done, air conditioning,
Fittings.
Everything was in there. Because when we went around to look,
which one? Which ones were completed?
Almost all of them. No, in fact, all of them.
Wow.
Yes.
So about how many outside Accra?
9.
9.
Yes.
Fully
out
done.
of Accra. So Accra will make it 10.
Is it just one building thing, or it's like
so
the kind
Accra
you
is
have-
much bigger.
Yes.
The one in the other regions
are smaller.
smaller.
But they are completed.
So if you go back to our Facebook social, the Ghana Digital Centers page, you see my tour, myself and my deputy. You see some of them were in very deplorable state.
So they finished them and closed them down?
Exactly what happened.
So nothing was happening
In
for
fact,
8 years?
So when we got to Koforidua, it was occupied by I think the Department of Urban Roads.
Okay.
And then when we got to Cape Coast, it was so bad. In fact, there was nothing in there. It had completely run down, overgrown with weeds, reptiles, and what have you over there. Everything.
Even though it's completed?
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
If you go on our social media platform, you see them there. Then we went to Cape Coast. It was terrible. At one point, they said it was occupied by the National Identification Authority, and they got their own office. They moved in and left it for the National Ambulance Service. And I wonder why somebody would be in that building in the condition in which we went to meet it. It was terrible. So in 2024, when the MPP was about leaving, they awarded 4 of them for renovation. One, the Takrady one, Kumasi, Sunyani, and I think Tamale. Takrady, when we went, the contractor had done a fairly good job, almost completing. Kumasi was completed. So Kumasi, if you go to Kumasi Kwada, so you see the Kumasi Digital Center.
Okay.
It's there. That's where we ran a pilot of the 1 million coders, the Kumasi one. We ran a pilot there. It's very complete. When we got to Sunyani, we saw the building in its deplorable state, nature, even though we were told it's part of those that was awarded for renovation. Then we sought to find out why it was still as bad as it was, and we were told the contractor said thieves had broken in and stolen the materials and everything, so he needed money to come back to site, and he never turned up. So that is the nature of the other 9 centers across the country.
Interesting. You mentioned the work that you do at the digital center. It sounded tech. Are you a tech person? What's your background?
My background is in PR.
PR?
Yes, with a basic tech background. But you don't need to be a tech person. All you need to do is to be able to assemble the best of minds, the best of managers.
So you're playing a managerial role, not necessarily practicing tech matters.
Exactly.
You said something like what? I asked you what happens at the digital center. You mentioned you use some
tech incubation.
Yes. Tech incubation. You mentioned another thing.
Digital acceleration, training tech young minds in digital coding skills, other software skills. Somebody has a brilliant tech idea, needs to put it into practice. You have this idea to develop a software, but you are unable to go around it properly. We have software engineers. We have a team of tech guys who will help you, and that's what we are supposed to do. Aside that, we are supposed to also offer trainings and also do incubation. So incubation basically is bringing in, like I said, the tech. Somebody has an ideation stage. He comes in, we help you develop your product and accelerate you, and if it becomes necessary, we help you get funding.
What kind of person? So just for people who may not know where this is, your office is the one opposite the Awudome Cemetery.
Exactly. After State Housing.
After State Housing Company on the left.
Yes.
I only know that place because some time back I was going to apply for a passport, and I was told to come there for my data capture. So I assumed that it was owned by the passport office, but they said it was Accra Digital Center. That is all I know happens there. You are saying that there are other things that happen there.
A lot.
I see small rooms, small buildings. They are supposed to be what?
So some of the small rooms or offices you see there are tech startups that are incubated, and startups, they don't have money to go into big offices, well-established offices. So we provide that support system. But you are right. You were going there, you thought that's where they do passports.
Yeah.
Most of the time, people say, oh, Accra Digital Center, where they do the passport. That's all that everybody knows.
Yeah.
I mean, and that shouldn't have been the narrative. So the Passport Application Center belongs to VFS Global. Now, VFS Global is offering an outsourced service from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So as part of our mandate, we are also to create an enabling environment for outsourced services, BPO services. So Foreign Affairs, they do passport, but they want to do a premium service. And then they think that, no, that is not our core passport, so we have to outsource it.
It's a private sector
player to do. If you come there, there's IO intermediaries, and there's DocuPro. They do document processing for health insurance. They are all there. That's outsourced services.
Okay.
That is
so
part
you are
of
renting the space?
Yes, not entirely. You're supposed to give some and also run your own programs, accelerated programs for, like I said, tech programs, training. And in the era of emerging technology, in the era of AI, robotics, we are supposed to be key players in that field. By now, Ghana Digital Center should have an AI-powered robotics center that the public can access. Unfortunately, today, the kid in the public school only reads about robotics in the textbooks. The public schools do not have robotic centers. As part of our mandate, we are supposed to also have some of those so that the kid at Kaneshi, Agbogbosila, Teshi can also work in long vacation weekends to come and understand what robotics means. But we don't have any.
So what kind of patrons do you have? So I'm a journalist. I'm not sure I would have any business there, do I?
Mm-hmm.
Which kind of people have business at the Accra Digital Center? What do they come to do? Is it like a library? Is it like a place you can come and sit down, have a cup of coffee and type away on your MacBook?
It's supposed to be the mini Silicon Valley where you can have a lot of tech solutions. But in addition to that, like I mentioned, BPO services. So you have a problem in the tech, you want to develop a product to come, you are aided by IT experts to help you to develop your program. We have co-working spaces as well. You need a space to do some short-term work, IT related. You come. So our place is.
So I'm a student of Accra Technical University. I'm a student of the one at Tesano.
Ghana Telecom. In fact, they are one of our key partners. A lot of their students do come to our place for internship. Very, very critical partners in the academia space. Because they're also supposed to influence development, research in academia in the area of tech.
You keep saying that it is a place you help people. Does it mean you have experts there?
We have an IT department that's supposed to handle all of that. So currently, we are incubating a young man who is developing a headset to aid visually impaired. He came with the idea. He had started from a certain point, but he needed a push, and he came to us. And I think today, when we did a press briefing, your crew were there, and they saw the gentleman demonstrate what we've been able to help him transition his ideas into. And now we are looking at investing.
And that's your core mandate. So in
in
the past 8 years, and you were not there, but as an office, how useful have you been to the Ghanaian tech space?
Not as useful as it should have been, because the activities that was run there previously was largely renting spaces for office spaces, like a real estate agency. There were BPOs operating there, but some of the core mandate, like I said, deliberate policies to drive digital acceleration wasn't happening.
We're missing.
Yes.
So when you came for the past 1 year, what did you do differently? What did you do to change this?
So there were a lot of structural challenges that we came to meet, and before we shift ourselves to the core mandate, we needed to fix those structural challenges. For instance, the managerial structure there was fundamentally faulty. When I say faulty, what do I mean? a typical organization that is supposed to serve the public with the taxpayers' money must have certain basic managerial structures in place. First of all, when we came, there was no HR department. Only one person was performing the role of finance manager, HR manager, and head of administration. One person performing all these three roles. I felt it was fundamentally wrong. So I needed to quickly bring in an HR person. HR is not just about hiring and firing. It's about management, human relations in the office, labor relations. I mean, to ensure that people are properly designated based on their qualification. So we needed to bring in an HR person who was qualified enough to occupy such a position. There was no internal auditor. So you cannot run an organization without having an internal checks and balances. The internal auditor needs to ensure that whatever monies you are spending, especially state funds, goes through the right procedures so that tomorrow you won't be found wanting. So I needed to bring in somebody qualified enough as an internal auditor, chartered internal auditor, to come in there. Then we didn't have a procurement manager. Ghana Digital Centers procures things from office stationery, office essentials, to laptops, to repairs, air conditioning. People have gone to jail in this country because of procurement breaches. Even when there are procurement managers in those institutions, the law still find a way to nail them. And I thought that was not appropriate, that an organization spending state money doesn't have a procurement officer. So I quickly brought in a procurement officer who was qualified. So all these people I brought in, I ensure that they have the requisite qualification to man those positions, because I am very loud out there. I'm a talkative. Then they'll come and say Jifagunu, he went in there and was just putting square pegs in round holes. No, I didn't want to.
So you were deliberate with your human resource recruitment.
Yes.
So you thought that you had to empower
Yes.
the
And when we finish from there, every state organization must have an internal audit committee. It's mandatory. It's required by law. But for the 8 years before I came in, there was no such committee. And when we contacted the internal audit agency, who is an independent body to oversee what we do in there, they said for the past 8 years they've been trying to have one, but they always meet resistance. And I said, no, we must allow the sunshine to reflect on us. We must put the spotlight on ourselves. So we quickly wrote to them, and they gave us the guidelines, and we had the internal audit agency come in to inaugurate the internal audit committee. Now, after doing all these things, I tasked my internal auditor and the rest of the team to look into what we were inheriting. And I'm sure in the coming days, I will be speaking more to some of the findings that have come out of those things, because the investigations are the tail end of conclusion. And there were things that I thought that you are giving a state asset to manage. You should treat it as though it's your personal property, not to mismanage it. Now it's almost 7 p.m. When we came in, if you go there at this time, the place will be completely dark. We took a deliberate policy because it's supposed to be a BPO hub. BPO centers don't sleep. The lighting was poor.
24-hour economy.
We are supposed to be a very integral member of the 24-hour economy, because we are going to run BPO services aside what the VFS is doing. We are in talks with
what is BPO, by the way?
business processing outsource.
Okay.
So basically, BPOs are outsourcing something that is not your core mandate, your core service
function.
Yes. In the coming weeks, we are about starting a project with the National Identification Authority. That will be our first major direct BPO service as Ghana Digital Center. We are going to run a 24-hour, 7 days a week prestige service with the NIA for the Ghana card. Yes. We are looking at a 10-hour round of 20 minutes maximum for service. You come in, you have your card, in 20 minutes you are gone. It's a prestige service.
Before you came to Digital Center, what was your staff strength? And based on all the people you mentioned you recruited now, what is your staff strength?
The staff strength was about Off my head, I think 20 something.
Okay.
But with the managerial changes and staff strength went up.
Okay. So aside the restructuring in terms of staff and recruitment, physically, what have you done to the? So you mentioned the lighting system. What other physical things have you done? For instance, at your regional offices that you said were
So
abandoned?
we couldn't have done anything at the regional offices because we were not financially strong.
Okay.
And
Where do you get your budget from? Is it a budget?
No,
that
we are
is-
self-subvented.
Okay.
So basically, our main source of funding is from the rentals, which
you don't get anything from your parent ministry.
In case before I came in, I think GIFEC was supporting the agency. I think between $1 million and $1.5 million annually.
Okay.
But I have not. Myself and my deputy, we've not been fortunate to.
Good.
But we've been challenged.
Should I tell Rashid Tanko? He's
Oh,
in charge
no,
of GIFEC.
no, I
Guys,
think-
should come and help you small. You are broke.
I think it was the first year. Minister is very interested in what we do, and I'm sure this year, because we need interventions, especially even Accra here, there are still challenges because the facility will be 10 years this year.
Okay, since it was built.
Yes, it never went under any major works. One of the challenges we came to meet was the roofs. Every day when it rains, the next moment in your mail, one office or one agency or one company sends a mail with pictures and videos their roofs are leaking.
Those you have rented out to.
Yes, and we've been trying to manage it. The lightning inside, we needed to work on them. There's a hall, so the blocks are named after former communication ministers.
Okay.
So there's one long hall, big block named after His Excellency the President, and then in there's a hall for events that are supposed to be corporate in nature. But unfortunately, my predecessors allowed it to be used for birthday parties, funeral parties, wedding receptions.
If you make money, why not? You are renting.
No, it's a carpeted floor, so you do birthday parties in there. People drink and drop food particles on it. You clean it, residues will be left there. At a point when I came in, it was difficult to have events in there. The place was very stuffy, very, very stuffy. The lighting was poor. So I told them that we needed to stop it because eventually nobody would want to come and do any event there if we do not stop it and change it. They told me, well, sir, this is one of our major revenue streams. And I said, no, I have been an event person before. I've gone around to book venues at hotels, and I see the neat nature they keep their conference hall, and they charge $4,000 to $5,000 with deliberate and thoughtful process. We can turn our event hall into some of those, and you can have the place fully booked every week. They came back, argued. I said, no, we needed to change the narrative. So I stopped those ones. We changed the carpeting. Now, I mean, you can comfortably walk in there and do your event in a very...
So you're making more money from it now. I'm asking the things you do and what you have done over the past 1 year because one of your friends on Facebook, NPP member, Kofi Ofosun Kansa, who just returned from BNI sales, he put up a post. He insulted you in the first line. That one, I don't know if that's a joke you two have or not, so I won't read that part. But he says, you won't concentrate on the digital center work, but you'll be specializing in doing propaganda. Quote, you took over a full Accra digital center. The place is half empty now because of your incompetence, and more tenants are on their way out. What have you added to Accra digital center aside converting a general office space as your personal office and pimping the place like a president's office?
Did you see my response to him?
No, I have not.
You should see my response to him.
Tell me, that's what I'm asking.
We're not a real estate agency. It's very embarrassing for him to say that tenants. We're not a real estate agency. You ran the place for 4 years. You didn't have an HR manager. There was no procurement manager. There was no internal auditor. Sandra, can we move on?
No, you have to explain the things he has said. So he said...
Do you think somebody who ran the organization that nature is fit enough to be raising such questions?
No, he said...
Good.
So let's look at the facts he raised. He said half of your tenants, more tenants are on their way out, half have left.
I'm telling him that we are not a real estate agency.
No, but your space there you are not using. That's why you are
I am
renting
coming to use it.
That's why you rent it for VFS. So you sacked them on purpose?
I didn't sack anybody.
So they left you because you are not, like you said, the roof is leaking, the place is not good. That's why they left.
I don't know why they leave.
No, they
but
left.
like I just told you, I have secured a deal with the NIA to run a 24-hour.
Yeah, but that's one tenant coming. If other tenants, is it true though?
No, they are not tenants. So I'm running the service.
Cool. Is it true that tenants are leaving?
Well, some of them leave.
Yeah, so that means that you are incompetent. That's why they are. If landlord, the people are leaving your
today,
house, because you
before I came in,
a terrible landlord.
Today, before I came in,
are not nice.
before I came in, a tech company that want to run a remote work from the US just secured a space in there. What about that?
Yeah, but that's one. He said that.
So
he said that more on their way out, and half have gone.
I'm not a real estate agent.
So if they leave and the place becomes,
Sandra, if you rent
it
somebody,
will become like a den of rodents, like you said in your
because
other
it's not being innovative. So that's the things that I have to survive on rentals.
So you renovate the place and use it for later.
I am coming to do something more.
Okay. What about the other fact he put out, as well as true or not, that you have converted a general office space as your personal office and you pimped your office looking like the president? They say you're
maybe next time you should come. Let's do this interview in my office.
No, just tell us.
Yes. So in the history of the company, I was the first to have been given a deputy. So when I went in there, the office for the CEO, it's almost the size of this room, right? Very small, very obscure. I needed to find a space for my deputy. So for 6 months, my deputy and I were sharing my own office. We needed to create an office for her and for myself to work in. Our books was not good enough to support that. But by our own innovation and our own thinking out of the box, I have an office for myself, not on the books of the company.
Okay. We have to go. In the next year, if I invite you here again, what would be the one major thing you would have done at the center that would excite you, that I can hold you to and say?
I would probably not be Kofi Ofosu-Nkansah and his successor who sat in Accra and said they were CEOs of Ghana Digital Centers. Cannot be CEO of Ghana Digital Centers in Accra when you don't have regional offices. That kind of mediocrity, I'm not able to live with it. So I am desperate.
By February next year,
I'm very desperate. I'm very desperate to see not less than 2 regional offices under the center. If His Excellency gives me that privilege again to continue working there till next year.
Where the new would be from outside the 10 old regions, but the new regions. Where are you targeting? Which region?
Where I am able to fit them. Already we have 10 or 9 other centers currently in the possession of the Ministry of Communication, though. But I've spoken to my minister, and he says I should come with a plan, and I'm working on the plan.
So you take them back. But I mean, are you going to build a new one from scratch? That's what you're hoping, or you are hoping?
If our finances are good, and we look into the NDC manifesto, we have promised to replicate more of the Accra Digital Centers across the region. So it's a manifesto pledge.
So it's a big.
I won't be in Accra carrying myself as the CEO of Ghana Digital Centers, whilst it's just Accra Digital Center.
Unless you delete the S at the end.
Can you imagine? That's mediocrity.
Thank you. We'll hold you to task next year. God bless you, and thank you for joining us tonight.
God bless you too for having me. I appreciate that.
Hey, Jifa, the male version. That's by way of Point Blank, and for that matter, Eyewitness News. I am Umaru Sandamadu. I did this with Fafa Melody Portofel, production by Kobina Wilson, Beverly London, Sami Wiafi, Julian Odami Asari. Technical support from Emmanuel Lati. And Edwin Kwakofi and the new media team helped us on the digital side of things. We'll be back on Monday at 17:30 GMT. But up next, I'll leave you in the hands of the Sports Panorama team, or the most powerful sports team in the Northern Hemisphere. Have a great weekend. See you Monday, inshallah. Good night.
Citi News. We speak.